anything else? Murray likes it, the two together.
Yeah, I like it as well.
I like it. I don't like the calamari.
No, but together they're different.
But together I like it.
Yeah, yeah. So I'm just going to talk to the camera for the people who aren't here for a minute, so you can continue enjoying and have a refresh of your mouth. So we're just looking at the three oils that we've looked, three of the oils that we've looked at so far: lavender, chamomile, and sweet marjoram. And we're just sniffing each one individually, and then asking ourselves how it makes us feel this session, which may be a bit different one week to the next. And then we're asking ourselves, does it fresh, spicy, citrusy, woody, heavy, light, fruity, or medicinal? It could be more than those things. And then we're combining each one together. So we've just done lavender and chamomile together. So now let's have a sniff of its own of by itself. And again, right, have a sniff of the marjoram. Pardon? What are you laughing at? Joe says, pooh. Yeah, have a sniff of the marjoram, see what you think. Write it down, how it makes you feel. And we're doing this without judgment. You know, sometimes we do think, oh, no, I don't want to use that today. And
I think it's just when it's
yeah.
It's quite heavy, you know what I mean? It's quite.
There you go, yeah. Okay, so again, just does that feel for you? Fresh, spicy, citrus, woody, heavy, light, fruity, medicinal. Can be more than one of those.
I really like it actually.
Yeah.
For me, it's quite heavy, woody, and medicinal. It's like some sort of something you'd put in a cough medicine, you know what I mean?
That's what I think, cough medicine, yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
It's really heavy and bitter, I think.
Yeah. So let's try it with the sweet marjoram and the lavender together then. So again, sniff the two together. Just a quick, oh yeah, it makes me feel this. And then ask the question of fresh, spicy, citrus, woody, heavy.
It's a lot fresher and lighter than it was.
Yeah.
Yeah. Instantly lifts it, doesn't it? Lighter.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I like that better.
Do you like it better as a blend?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Better.
Yeah. Okay. And then let's do the sweet marjoram and the Roman chamomile together then. Remember to clear your palates between aroma testing.
Which two are we doing together now? Marjoram and lavender?
Marjoram and chamomile now.
Chamomile.
Yeah. Frowning, Laura. No. How does it feel? Too what? What don't you like about it?
So for some reason it smells really really sweet to me now.
Does it?
Like this bitter way, I don't know.
Yeah. Okay. So Laura doesn't like that. Any other ideas?
Even more woody and medicinal to me.
Yeah. Yeah, and I
It
think
smells like when you've cut something in the garden, you know, like a herbicide, and you've cut it like wood, and
Yeah.
you can smell it.
yeah, that's off and more heavy. And of course,
Yeah.
they are herbs, aren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the marjoram doesn't lift the chamomile as much as the lavender does.
Yeah. So different oils work in different ways together. So this is why we do so much of this practice, to really get to know the oil rather than just look up something that says these oils mixed together. You have to look at it how you feel for yourself. And that's again why I don't mix up massive bottles of anything, because your mood changes. So, last week what smelt one way to you might have been pleased or not so. This week might be different. So I just mix up for home use, just small amounts. So let's try all three together then. So cleanse your palate. And we'll try lemon, chamomile and sweet marjoram.
That's nice now.
Yeah.
Wasn't nice before.
Right, there you go. Yeah.
It's better.
It's better. Would you use it?
I think I would now.
Yeah.
I would now. Probably.
Yeah.
I put that mix into some moisturiser last week after the class.
Yeah.
And my partner had a painful muscle on his back, so I massaged it with that. The only thing I don't. He said it was all right. He didn't mind the smell of it, and he was. I don't know that it did any good, but it made my hands quite. I almost thought, am I having an allergic reaction to this?
All right. Yeah.
Because it was quite. My hands were really, really hot, but it might have just been the massage and stuff. So
Yeah.
I'm just going to. I'm going to patch test it because I don't know whether I was having some sort of reaction. It was almost like little red dots underneath my skin. But
Okay.
they weren't raised or anything. It wasn't like an allergic reaction, but it was almost like prickly, tingly in my hands.
Had you used the cream before? That's not new, is it?
Yeah.
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 And you never got to put it on your face then?
Yeah.
No. Okay.
I won't put it. I was just going to use it as a, like a muscle rub.
Yeah.
But obviously I've done quite a lot, and then I thought, blooming heck, I better get this washed off my hands because it's really, really, really tingling.
Yeah. Sometimes, did you dilute it enough as well?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Sometimes you can get some tingly feelings with some of the oils. Yeah. And also the fact that you've been rubbing would have warmed up as well, so your palms are quite absorb quite quickly. So you may have absorbed it more because you've rubbed as well. So if you find that you do your patch test and it's not like an allergy, try diluting it more. So rather than one drop in 5 mils, try one drop in 10 mils.
Yeah, I maybe did have a bit too much in because I've not made very much up, and of course I put 3 oils in it. So,
and I would say it would be the marjoram that did that.
Yeah.
So marjoram is a warming oil. Are you all right, Marie? Yeah, marjoram is a warming oil. That's why we use it for muscle rub. But it's maybe a bit too strong, but definitely do a patch test.
Yeah. I don't. It wasn't like an allergy. It was funny. Do you know what I mean? I thought, it might just be from the massage, but it was. Yeah. When I looked at my hands, it was like prickly red under the skin, but it wasn't. It wasn't like an allergy. But I think it may be too much oil, and I think it was the marjoram. Definitely.
Yeah, I would imagine it would be. Yeah. So. Joe's already answered one of the questions, but I want you to have a think now, so you can use your notes if you've got them, or and just use your head. Just think about Roman chamomile, lavender and sweet marjoram, and let's have a few ideas of what we could use that blend for and how we'd apply them. Why are you laughing, Elaine?
I'm just laughing because the first thing that came to my head was exactly what Joe's just been
Yeah.
talking. You put it for a muscle rub.
Yeah, excellent. Yeah, so it's a brilliant muscle rub, and I use it with good effects a lot. So especially, you know, people that come in with back, neck, and shoulder pain, and some of the bigger, muscly guys, it tends to work really well on their shoulders.
I feel almost like it would be expectorant. Do you know what I mean? Like on your chest.
Yeah, it would be great as a chest rub. So it would be an expectorant, so it would loosen phlegm and get it up. So if we wanted to use it as a chest rub, how might we use it? Or if we wanted to use it for a chest complaint, how might we use it? I can just say chest rub. So we can use it as a chest rub, like Joe said, but there's another way that you might use it.
Inhale it. Water and head over.
Yep, so you could just sniff it from the bottle or sprinkle it on a tissue, or like you're saying, put it in the hot water and use the steam inhalation. Remember, we can't use that for asthmatics, I'm asked to tell you that. Yeah. Okay.
You can have a blend all three together, yeah?
Yeah. Anything else?
Would it sort of clear brain fog? You know, if somebody was feeling a bit sort of, I don't know, overwhelmed by something, shall we say? Would it help with that?
What's anybody else think?
I would have thought some of the others that are a bit
A bit more like peppers.
Yeah.
More uplifting.
Yeah, they're all very calming nerves. So if your brain fog was because of busy, it might slow you down if that's what you needed. But it wouldn't be good for, say, needing to do some study or go to a meeting or drive somewhere. It wouldn't be clearing in that way. Like the girls say, something like your peppermint, eucalyptus, would be better at that.
I find it's mentally very, not stimulating, but calming.
Yeah.
I can feel a sort of, it's weird. It's nice.
Yeah.
I've just found it really hot, like you've drunk brandy. I just get that feeling all down here, like, you know, like when you, like you've had a spirit and it's like.
And that is the marjoram. So that's like the warming feeling, and like you said, the cough medicine experience. Yeah.
Sorry, Leslie, that reminded me of a question from last week.
Mhm.
I know, you know, from the starter pack that we got.
Yeah.
I know the ylang ylang is a base note.
Yeah.
Which others in that pack are base note? Because I seem to think that there were, from my smelling, there were more the middle and the top notes.
Yeah, you're right.
We're
going to cover them all individually, but the ylang ylang is the only base note in that set.
Because I'm thinking, well, there must be another one.
No, there isn't. No.
And I kept smelling, and I got more and more confused. And I thought, I'm going to have to ask because I can only see that the ylang ylangs are base one. So is there a different? Are there other base? There must be other base ones.
Yeah, so we're just going to cover the 10 oils that we've got because they're so safe, so effective and affordable. Because there are, I mean, look at the size of the like this is an A to Z of essential oils. So obviously you don't need to know all of those essential oils for your home use, do you? So I would just say don't complicate it. You've got those oils are put together in that starter kit because of the versatility, either individually or blended. You've got 10 oils. How many does that equate to if you blend them in ones and twos and threes? So don't worry too much. As you get into it, you might discover an oil that you really, really like, and there's, you know, you can learn all about that. But 10 oils is enough to learn about, I think.
I just wanted to check that out because I kept thinking I must be missing one or something.
No, you're not. No. So to go back to our lavender, chamomile, and sweet marjoram, there's one other thing that nobody's touched on, but is a really, really effective blend. No, it's excellent for sleep.
All right.
Excellent for sleep. Yeah. So how do you think if we were suffering with insomnia, so girls with the children, we won't use the sweet marjoram for the kiddies. We'd use the lavender and chamomile. Okay. So if you think about using it to assist with sleep, tell me how we would go about that.
Oh, frozen.
Oh, wait,
Put it in then.
it must be you because I can still see everybody.
Yeah. Sorry, Laura.
In like the steamer
Yeah,
in the room.
yeah, yeah. So Laura's saying put it in the steamer in the room. Yeah, so it's already. So you could have it in the room where you're sitting before bed. So you're already inhaling.
Yeah.
It's having that effect on the limbic system. You could also leave it in the bedroom so that when you go in there, it's in there. So a steamer or a diffuser is good. We just have to be careful about candles.
I put it on a because I've had the radiator on in the summer house. I put it on a tissue and then I put it on the radiator, so it just releases it a little bit.
Yeah, so you're getting that diffusion still. So yeah, so the diffuser, a tissue on the radiator. Anything else?
Maybe mixed in a base and just rubbed on the side of the temples.
Yeah, on the temples. Yeah, as a massage oil or cream.
The cream.
Yeah,
You could put some in your bath
in
before
your
you go
bath.
to bed.
Yeah, yeah. Chest rub.
Yeah.
Use it as your body
Tissue.
lotion. Tissue under the pillow. Yeah, yeah. So yeah, well done, girls. Lots of versatile ways. So it's a really, really good blend for sleep, for muscle pain. It's also excellent for mild depression. Obviously, if you do suffer with depression, you've still got to go and get your medical assessment. But it is good for lifting the mood without making you that kind of energy. Do you know what I mean? It eases depression, but without making you giggly, shall we say. So excellent for sleep, muscle rub. It's also really good as a tummy rub. So anybody with tummy problems, constipation, indigestion, that sort of thing. Nice and slow, clockwise direction, rubbing it on the belly. And all of those oils have hormonal balancing effects as well. So if you were suffering with PMT or period pain, it would be excellent. Again, just rub it over your belly, around the small of your back as well. Yeah. So that simple blend can do all sorts of ways. We can use it in the diffuser, we can use it in the bath, we can use it as a chest rub, abdominal rub, just as a general massage, or you could put it in a spray as well, just to sniff as well. Okay, all happy with that?
Yeah.
Okay, so we're going to move on then. We're going to just, let me see if I can find these oils, because I did it earlier, didn't I? Alright, let's have a look. So let's see. Let's open our geranium essential oil. I did it! Okay, so we've got geranium oil then. Let's have a sniff of that. Remember to cleanse your palate first.
Where we use geranium.
Sorry, Laura?
Geranium.
Geranium, yeah.
Nice.
Woo! Yes. So again, write down how it makes you feel. And then ask yourself again, does it feel fresh, spicy, citrus, woody, heavy, light, fruity, medicinal?
It feels quite light and fruity to me.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Citrusy.
Citrusy, yeah, yeah. Because it is a floral, but yeah, there is a citrusy undertone to it somewhere, isn't there? Yeah. Okay, so it's the essential oil of geranium is distilled, and they take it from the leaves, the stalks, and the flowers. And I know when you're gardening, you get that aroma, don't you? Quite just by being close. If you knock against it, you can smell it on yourself all day. So the aroma of the oil there and its colour will depend according to where it was grown. So this is quite common as well, and this influences prices of essential oils, where they were grown from, and also the weather will affect it. So if the weather has damaged the crops, your oil is going to be more expensive than if it was perfect growing conditions that year for that crop. So that's another indication of why your oils go up and down in price, really. Geranium essential oil, it's emotionally soothing and balancing. I don't know if that's what you notice when you inhale it. And they say that it has a close affinity with the female system and therefore can assist in balancing hormonal problems. And I have found that really can be helpful again for PMT or PND or hot flashes and that. I've used it to help rose oil, which is super expensive, but you'll get many of the same benefits from your geranium oil. So it's worth trying the geranium before going into your rose, which Elaine is a base note. Okay. It's nice for room fragrancing, and it's in a lot of perfumes, and it's also a gentle insect repellent. That's why they use geraniums in window boxes. Okay.
It's what, sorry?
Useful as an insect repellent.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So it's said to be non-toxic. You can't. Obviously, with all of them, you don't want to do too much, but it's unlikely to cause you any problems. For the skin, it's balancing and soothing. So it's often used for treating acne-prone skin because it balances. Like your tea tree would be really good to put on a spot, but it's so drying that then your body starts to produce more sebum, so you get a counter effect. So geranium and tea tree together would be nice for treating oily skin problems. It's said also to have regenerative properties, which can also aid in the healing of wounds. And it's these regenerative properties that they say the essential oils have, which is why we have to work with caution with cancer. Because if it regenerates one cell, it will regenerate other cells as well. So that's why we ask for medical input there. On the mind, it helps to relax us, stabilise and lift the emotions. So it's really helpful for anxiety, nervous tension, postnatal depression, mood swings, irritability, frustration, anger. So it's soothing without being so heavy. So your marjoram, I think, is a mood, brings you down and is good for depression, but you could balance that out with your geranium because you'd have a bit more of an uplift. So your geranium isn't going to make you feel as sleepy as your marjoram would be. So you might use your geranium in the morning when you've got to face the day, and your sweet marjoram in the evening when you can slow down and calm down. On the body, it's really good for the hormones, so popular for use with menstrual problems. People use it prior to conception as well. We're not going to use it in pregnancy and during the menopause, so the whole spectrum. And I do have a course on hormonal balancing oils as well. It's said to be a detoxifier, so they use it when they do lymphatic drainage as well. And they say it helps with combating cellulite, so you could put it in your body after you've done your body scrubbing, your dry body brushing, then put some geranium, and you can add other things to it. It's also said to help with spasm and pain in the abdominal system and in the musculoskeletal system. So you've got your other oils there. Let's have a think about which oils you think might go with it. Maybe if we all do a different one. So maybe Joe, if you do geranium and lavender.
Yeah, got it.
Okay. And Elaine, if you do geranium and chamomile.
Thank you.
Marie, if you do geranium and marjoram. And Laura, if you do geranium and peppermint. And so then, Michelle, if you do geranium and eucalyptus. But start with Laura. They can't all see your face. What do you think? So what have you got? You've got geranium and peppermint.
Peppermint.
Yeah.
I love it. It's absolutely lovely. It's so refreshing.
Yeah, it's a beautiful blend. Takes you by surprise. You wouldn't think necessarily to blend those two together, but it is really nice. Lovely mood enhancer. Be lovely that geranium and peppermint if you had any, trapped wind or anything like that. That'd be nice for any belly issue, really. Nice for somebody with hot flushes because the peppermint's very cooling. And with hot flushes as well, you can make your peppermint tea and cool it, leave it in the fridge, and use it as a spritzer to help with that, as well as drinking it can help with calming the hot flushes as well. Are you ready, Jo?
Yes.
Yeah. What have you got?
So I've got lavender and geranium,
Yeah.
and it's really nice. It just makes it that little bit sweeter. And I think the geranium picks, whereas the lavender would be really relaxing and sleepy, the geranium just picks it up, so it just sort of balances that out. It feels like.
It's a nice blend, and that'd be fabulous for skincare.
Yeah.
And if you did the geranium, the lavender, and the peppermint together, that is really nice. Lovely.
Yeah.
Yeah. What about you, Elaine? What have you got?
I've got geranium and calamine.
Yeah.
Calamine,
Yeah.
not calamine lotion. It's very balanced and it feels soothing.
Yeah.
But almost nothing stronger than the other. Do you know what it is?
Yeah.
It feels very, very balanced is what's coming across.
Yep. Is it pleasant?
Yeah.
Yep. So that would be nice for skincare and hormonal balancing. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Lovely. And you just mentioned calomel lotion, and that's one of the things I meant to bring up last week. So the girls with the kids, if they get chicken pox, you can put your chamomile and your lavender in calomel lotion. It's hard to say all that, but that really, really helps. It's very soothing, all of it together. Yeah. So Marie, what have you got there?
I've got geranium and marjoram.
Yeah. What do you think?
I don't really like it, I don't think.
I wouldn't have blended those. No. No.
It's not that they cancel each other out, but they don't really seem to do anything for each other.
No, they don't particularly complement each other. No.
What would you use this for?
Well, I wouldn't blend it.
You couldn't blend it.
Yeah.
It's just not nice at all.
No.
I mean, it's not unpleasant.
No, but it's not. No,
it
so
doesn't
why do
anything.
it? Yeah. Yeah, so I wouldn't blend it. Yeah. Yeah. And Michelle, then, what have you got?
I've got the geranium and eucalyptus.
Yeah.
It's quite refreshing, sort of clears your nose.
Yeah.
But I think geranium kind of sort of brings the eucalyptus and makes it a bit milder.
Yes.
Sort of a bit more. Sometimes when it can be a bit much, can't it? When you've got,
Yeah. So the eucalyptus is a bit medicinal on its own, isn't it? So the geranium takes that away without taking. So it's not taking the effect away though, but it is changing the way that it smells, so makes it more palatable, if you like.
Yeah, it's not such a sudden sort of shock.
Yeah.
Pleasant, yeah.
So again, that would be nice for chest problems or pain if you didn't need something so much you wanted just a nice smell. So that'd be a nice aroma in the room. Geranium, peppermint, and eucalyptus together in your oil burner is nice, just as a general mood enhancer and refresher. Yeah. Okay, so some of the other uses for geranium, then you've got this on your handout, but it's good for menstrual cramps. They say use it for infertility, endometriosis, premenstrual syndrome, menopause symptoms, circulation problems. Yeah, it's very good for any circulatory issues. Raynaud's disease, which is a problem of circulation to your extremities. Varicose veins, so you can rub it in an upwards direction to soothe the itchiness and the swelling and discomfort of varicose veins. In the research, we use it, as I said, hemorrhoids, because it does have a kind of feeling. That's why it's so good for the skin. It kind of draws it in, but for our circumstances, we're not going to use it internally, so we can't put it on there. But you could put it in your bath. You could put it in your bath, so it would be soothing. It's good for nerve pain, nervous skin disorders, so things like psoriasis, eczema, stuff that comes up when we're stressed. It'd be nice with that. So that would be nice with lavender and chamomile together. It's uplifting for depression. It's uplifting for fatigue. It can be very balancing and soothing in an emotional crisis, or really any stress-related conditions, if you like the aroma, obviously. It's also said to be good for helping bring bruising out, and said to be helpful in a shampoo for, I was going to say wood lice, I don't know why, head lice. Head lice. So it's in the proprietary, so is tea tree. So tea tree and geranium are often in proprietary head lice shampoos. And I put a picture on there, but we all know what a geranium looks like. Okay. Any questions for that?
Just one thing you mentioned about, you said something doesn't cancel the other out.
Yeah.
Is that the case with all oils? They don't cancel out the individual effect for each one is still there.
So on the skin, all the properties will be there. On the inhalation, if one is particularly strong, it will cancel out the other one.
Okay.
Yeah, good
One of the things I was going to ask was, how does it work if, like, say you bruise your toe, so you had sweet marjoram and what have you, and you're rubbing that on your foot, and then you thought, oh, I've got headache, so I get some peppermint and I rub that on my head, and you know, if you're doing lots of different things, how does your body cope with that?
Yes, so it's then it can start to get because we're using it at very low dilutions, it's not really a problem. But if you were doing that a lot, and you've got to think about the way it's metabolized in the body, so especially your base notes can accumulate in the liver. So you need to know, you know, that's why again we say use it only on healthy people at our level. So if you were using those at the same time, your peppermint would dissipate quite quickly because it's a top nose, and your marjoram would stay in the body for longer. So you get that nice quick hit with your peppermint, and that might ease your headache, but the marjoram will continue working in the background. So that's why it's nice to blend. Look, really think about how it works with you and have a blend ready. So like I said last week, we have our snitto when I've stuffed it as well. So you've got blends that you know work for you available, rather than thinking, right, no, I've got to blend this and I've got to blend that, because it becomes inconvenient then, and you're not likely to do it. Yeah, good question. Okay.
So how long?
Yeah.
A blend for once you've made it. How long can it last for before it loses its efficacy?
Yeah. So it depends on your storage. So if they lose the efficiency because the air in the bottle makes them go off. So that's why you won't want small bottles. So you can buy gigantic bottles of essential oils, and because you're only going to use a drop at a time, they're going to go off before you can use them. So that's why we just stick to 5 or 10 ml bottles. And then you don't want it to be stored in a great big bottle where there's a big space of air between, because that's what affects the oil. So keeping
you blended it with a cream or a base oil, how long will it last?
Yeah, so keeping the lid on and storing it in a proper container in the dark. In the fridge 3 months, but sometimes they've been longer as well. So again, like we said before, if you open it and it doesn't smell right, don't use it. If you open it and you kind of can't smell the oil, you've probably lost the oil, but you can top it up, can't you? It just adds some more oils. So usually they say 3 months, because you're only going to be mixing, say maybe 15, 20, maximum 50 mils really, aren't you? Yeah.
The other thing with a cream, if it's a cream, is if you're sticking your finger in and out of it all the time, you might contaminate it, and then you might get something growing in it. So you just have to. I mean, probably not as much, because the oils would stop things growing, I would think.
There is that, but you still.
It's like tea tree, but you can contaminate it. So you got to think about that as well.
And that's all your oil.
Spatula, I guess.
Pardon?
You could use a spatula.
I was going to say, So if you think about that, applies to all your creams and lotions that you use at home. Using a spatula is a lot more hygienic. So it's not just essential oil lotions. It's all the products that we use. And they would come with a use by date, and I know we all go past that, don't we? But if you feel like the smell isn't there, you can top it up.
I'm just thinking about when I was at university and we had to make like medicinal creams and things like that. Normally you'd put 28 days on it. Would normally be the thing if you put a medicine in it, which an essential oil is the same as that really. So it'd be 28 days or less. But if you were sticking your finger in it, then it might be less than that.
That's right.
If it didn't have a preservative in it, which if we're using natural,
we haven't got any of that. Although the oils in themselves are preservatives.
So I think 3 months would be reasonable. I think
that's usually what is recommended, especially if but you've got to store it properly. Okay, so we'll move on then to bergamot. So if you want to get your bergamot, and again ask yourself, how does that make me feel? And then is it fresh, spicy, citrus, woody, heavy, light, fruity, medicinal? Cleanse your palate. Am I still
This one seems to have a colour to it.
Pardon?
This one seems to have more of a colour to it.
Yeah, that's a good point. It does, Is it a greeny colour?
Yes.
Yeah, it does, That's just the way it's come from the fruits. So it comes from the bergamot fruit itself, which is a small citrus tree. So they're like little tiny green oranges or limes, but they're quite knobbly on the skin, and it's quite a dark colour fruit. So you can probably see that on that picture. So that's why the colour stays in the oil for it.
Is this what's in Earl Grey tea?
Yes, it is. Yeah.
Nice.
So what's its immediate effects when you take it out of the bottle?
Fruity.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Fruit, nice citrus, I guess.
Yeah, and fresh. Yeah, fruit like citrus.
stimulating, isn't it?
Yeah.
Uplifting.
Lovely. So do you think it's a top, middle, or a base note then?
Top.
Yeah. What about the geranium?
No.
Is that more of a middle?
Yeah, that's the middle, Quite a heavy middle as well, really. Okay, then, so bergamot then. It's known as nature's Prozac. It's one of the most popular essential oils to help with stress, over emotional feelings, depression, tension, mental agitation. It's good effects on the stomach as well. You know, if working under pressure gives you any tummy upsets, like butterfly feeling, it can be really useful for that. Common in modern perfumes and soaps and things, and is lovely to add to any massage blend, really, in my opinion. I love it.
You know, before, Leslie, you said about, I think it was when we was at a sound healing thing, you said about the fragrances and how you're drawn to the things you need.
Yes, definitely, yeah.
Well, when I was quite poorly, I was quite depressed and anxious because of work.
Yeah.
I got absolutely obsessed with bergamot.
Right.
I just could not, I was like trying to, you know, when you see things and you think, I wonder what else has got that in it, because it's so, it's so nice, and I just got, it was like I was looking for hand soaps with it in, and you know, is there a perfume I can get that's got bergamot in, because it just seemed to be really nice, but that was probably what it was.
Yeah, you're just drawn to it, and then another time you might not be, you know. But, and that's why I say another reason for not missing massive amounts of stuff, because you might go off it as well. Yeah, it looks like I've lost the girls on WhatsApp, so I'll just see what happens.
It's maybe because I've smelled so many other things, but I can hardly smell the bergamot now.
Right, yeah, there is that. So you might want to go out the room and walk back in.
Yeah. Are you just sorting that out? I will do.
Yeah. Can you see me, girls? On WhatsApp? No, they've lost me. Yeah. Can you see me, girls?
Can we come back again? Been waiting for a while.
Yeah, you disappeared. No, you disappeared. It stopped. Joe's back. Okay, so we talked last week, didn't we, about using essential oils in the sun. It's not applying this week, is it? But bergamot used to be used in Bergasol, which is a sun lotion that they used to use in the 70s and 80s, I believe, to make us tan, because it's got something in it called bergaptine that does produce more melanin in the skin, but it offers no protective qualities at all. So this is one where we've really got to be careful if we're going to go outside, because it might be one that you're using on your face, for instance, to lift your mood and a skincare, but it's got no sun protection properties, so you are more likely to get marks and burns. So I wouldn't use bergamot if you know you're going to go out and the day's sunny. So it can, if your skin is particularly sensitive, I would do a patch test on it. It can have a little bit of a sensitive effect for some people. And it can burn the skin on people that are sensitive. So again, you really need to be very, very careful with your dilution. The burns, I should say, are when you're exposed to sunlight, like I just said. But for your skin normally out of the sun, it's got antiseptic properties. So good for wounds, good for skin conditions like your acne, eczema, psoriasis. Again, blending it with your chamomile and geranium would be lovely. Let's have a little sniff now of those, of bergamot and geranium together. Let's see what we think of that while I'm just talking. It can be really helpful for cold sores. I do suffer with cold sores, and if I can get to it in time and you've just got the prickly feeling and put it on, then it stops them going to develop onto the real, the whole kit and caboodle.
So bergamot needs on a cold sore?
No, I've tried that and it much. On the mind, bergamot oil is very good for lifting the spirits, treating stress, depression, nervous anxiety, work-related tension, and it's often used for treating the symptoms of seasonal affective disorder. It's like sunshine in a bottle, really. Yeah. It's very good as an antiseptic for using for cystitis, so we can't put it on intimate areas, but you can rub it on your lower tummy and around your back and your buttocks, because those are absorbed, remember, so they get into the bloodstream, they travel to every area of your body, however you wherever you rub it on, it's going to go somewhere else. It doesn't, if you stub your big toe, Joe, it doesn't just stop at your big toe, does it? The blood takes it around everywhere, so it goes to the whole body. So good for urinary tract infections and bacterial stomach upsets in that way as a tummy rub. It's also good for respiratory problems like cold, flu, sore throats, and all the ways that we use it as a chest rub or inhalations. And as Marie said, it's in bergamot. Bergamot is in Earl Grey tea, so you're getting a mild effect of it that way. What do we think of bergamot and chamomile together?
Bergamot and chamomile.
Yeah, bergamot and chamomile.
You can imagine wearing that. Do you know what I mean? You can
Yeah.
imagine.
Like a nice fresh perfume, isn't it?
Yeah.
What do you think, Laura?
Yeah, it's better with the bergamot.
Yeah.
Chamomile smells better.
Yeah. What do you think, Elaine? Have I still got Elaine? No, where's she gone?
I don't know, she's muted and she's.
I won't interrupt. Oh, there you are.
No, sorry, I got disconnected, so I had to rejoin. And
That's all right.
every time you rejoin, you've got to take off the. You've got to unmute and
Yeah.
do again. The geranium and chamomile. I don't like chamomile, and the geranium doesn't take it off enough for me.
Yeah. Okay. So
It's better, but I still don't think it's one I would use.
You'd
I would
use
need
it.
something else in it to take out a bit more of the chamomile.
yeah. So we've got all those different opinions. Any difference there for you, Michelle?
I know, it's just, it kind of reminds me of the peppermint. Do you like the clearing?
Yeah, it's got peppermint tones to it, lemony and peppermint tones to the geranium, I think. Yeah. What about you, Marie?
I don't really like it.
No,
I'm not a lover of geranium
no,
as of the plant. I don't like the smell.
yeah,
But funnily enough, when I smelled the geranium just wafted under my nose from the bottle, it was quite nice.
quite nice.
But I don't like it mixed with me.
No. So now I'd like you to try the geranium, chamomile and peppermint together. It's interesting, isn't it? I've got some people, oh yeah, I love this, and other people, no, I wouldn't use it. So this again is the importance of blending.
I like that.
You like that? You seem to like the fresher aromas, don't you? Yeah,
I'm a bit addicted to the peppermint. I really like peppermint.
yeah,
I don't know.
yeah.
I like the way the peppermint cancels out the woodiness of the chamomile a little bit.
Yeah.
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 And then the geranium will just put that little bit of sweetness on it, won't it?
Yeah. Yeah. It'd be a lovely perfume, that, I think. Summer perfume.
Mm.
You put a spring in your step and it'd be nice as a refreshing skin blend, you know, if your skin's a bit tired, but you just have to be careful you don't get near your eyes because of the peppermint. But yeah, if your skin's feeling a bit congested or, you know, dull, that would be nice. Obviously your whole body, is your skin, your whole body. Nice mood enhancer, that'd be nice in your diffuser in the room. So you've got 8 oils there. Sorry, Laura, yeah?
I've been using peppermint and eucalyptus in my room during the day,
Yeah.
and it's actually really interesting to see the mood in the girls.
Okay, yeah.
Because obviously with the weather dropping, all I want to do is just sit and watch telly.
Yeah.
And I turn the telly off after breakfast and they kind of get quite grumpy.
Yeah.
But when I put this on in the morning, yesterday, the mood was so so much
Is
better.
it? Yeah.
No, I'm much more active.
Yeah.
It's really interesting.
It
to
is.
see.
They use it a lot in schools now, yeah, to change the mood. We used to have a blend that we used to call the Happy Family Mix, and I used to use it when my kids were little. That was lavender, geranium. What else did we have in there? I think it was probably bergamot actually. Lavender, geranium, and bergamot. We used to call that the Happy Family Mix because it's so balancing.
Yeah.
And
It's lovely to see.
not overpowering. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. So we've covered 8 oils now. So if you think of all the permutations of all those oils together, you know, mixing in blends of 2 or 3, you've got a lot of different. You could make a whole row of different things with that, couldn't you? In the paperwork I gave you last week, I gave you 2 sheets with effects of the essential oils that we've got. One was just kind of overall, and one was mental impacts that each of the oils have. So you can do a lot of playing around with those, and maybe bring, if you don't mind, bring some recipes that you've done for everybody to share next week.
Yeah.
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 So I did have a lot more arranged for us today. So, but I know you've got the kiddies. Do you want to stay a while, or do you need to go and I'll do what we were going to do first aid? That's what we were going to do. But we can do it next week, or we can do it now. It's what you
I
want
can
to do.
stay, it's up to you.
Yeah,
I'm okay for time, so whatever. I'm easy.
yeah. You girls have got.
Yeah.
You're all right.
I'm at school anyway, so it's fine.
You're
So,
all right. What about you, Laura?
Better at school, so it's fine.
Yeah, Laura.
Definitely
Okay.
playing Barbies. Not
Yeah.
complaining at the minute.
Are you all right, Marie? Yes, they are quiet. They've been real good. Are you all right for a while, Marie?
Yes, I am.
Yeah. Okay. So let's.
About 15 minutes, I can do another 15
Yeah.
minutes.
Okay. So we'll go to first aid then. So let me see if that will come up for you. I don't think I've got it on this bit. I might not try and be fancy. I might not waste our time today. So we can use essential oils for first aid. Am I still in the video, girls?
Yeah, I can
Yeah.
see you, and we can see the bergamot slab.
Right.
I can just see it. That's fine.
Why can't I see you then? No, I tried to get too clever, didn't I? Right, I'll leave it so I don't interrupt. So when we're looking at first aid, obviously you've got to take your real first aid into consideration. That's got to be done first. So don't arrive at a car crash and say, everybody's all right, I've got some lavender on me. Okay, you've got to use the obvious things like CPR, stopping the bleeding, putting burns under cold running water and all like that. So these are a substitute for that, obviously, but they're there to enhance. So if we look at abrasions, and you've got all this on a handout, but abrasions, cleanse the area well, and then get some warm water with your 5 drops of lavender oil in it, and you can use that to clean the abrasion. And then you could apply 1 drop of neat lavender if it's a small wound and leave it to heal. And if you've got your tea tree, you could add that to it. But tea tree stings a little bit, whereas the lavender is quite soothing. So I don't always use tea tree, but very good for abrasions. If you've got an infected, say, boil or a zit or anything, what do you think we might use on that?
Tea tree.
Yeah. Anything else? 2 more that I'm thinking of that you've covered already.
Lavender.
Yeah.
Like chamomile, cool it down and soothe it a bit.
Yeah. Yeah. So you could use a blend of all of those, lavender, tea tree and chamomile. Well done for thinking of those. So you could just make a little pot of, rather than something that's claggy like an oil or a cream, you could put it in some lavender water, or just use neat lavender water would be fine, and apply it to it a couple of times a day. If it's somewhere where you can put a compress on it as well, just put a piece of gauze, soak that in your mixture and apply that to it a couple of times a day. Any ideas what we might use for athlete's foot?
Tea tree. And
Is it peppermint? Would you mix
Peppermint might be a bit too stingy. Yeah,
right?
yeah. I would use.
Was it on the bergamot slide? I can't remember.
You could use bergamot, and you could use lavender, tea tree. Lavender, tea tree, and bergamot would be nice together. And you just mix again, not anything too claggy, and just put a cotton tip in it, and then you can apply it because you don't want to keep dipping your finger in and out of that when you've got an infection going on. Why does my thing keep shutting down?
We can still see you and see everybody else.
Can you? I
Yeah.
can't see me, and I can't see the things that I'm talking to you from either now. Everything's just while we wait for it to come up. Bless you.
Bless you.
Oh, sorry about this. Oh, there we go. Okay, so we can also apply it to blisters, and again, I was lavender and chamomile for that.
What was that applied to?
Blisters. So you can put it before they burst. I wouldn't put anything on an open wound. You could, though, use lavender or chamomile water or hydrolat in a spray and spray that over a broken blister. Yeah. Burns, then obviously you've got to put the affected area under cold running water for at least 10 minutes, or immerse that part in cold water and keep changing the water to keep the water cold. And then immediately put, as long as it hasn't burst, as if it's a dry burn, 2 drops of neat lavender directly to the burn, and then put 5 drops of lavender on a clean cloth and cover it. But obviously we're talking small burns, like, you know, you've burnt your finger on the kettle, not a full burn, and obviously not anything that's broken the skin. Colds, flu, catarrh, sinusitis, hay fever, headache, hangover. We're using those already. Peppermint, eucalyptus and tea tree. They're really good. Cold sores, anybody any ideas there?
I can't remember which one you said now.
There's more than one.
Bergamot for the antiseptic bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Bergamot is nice and soothing. Geranium's nice. Tea tree's nice. Chamomile. But again, and lavender will be fine as well, actually. Lavender is the only one that I'd put on directly, but you then taste it and it really is an unpleasant taste. So again, just dab it on, and you don't want to be transferring the hairpiece from your mouth to the container, so keep using a cotton bud. One without plastic if possible. Okay, so conjunctivitis then, anybody any ideas what we might do there? Tricky one, isn't it? Because we don't want to use oils on the eyes. Yeah. But how about making up some chamomile tea? I'll get in some chamomile tea bags.
The cold compress.
Yeah, make the tea up, let it cool, and then lay the chamomile tea bag over the affected eye, obviously with your eye closed, and throw the tea bag away, obviously. But that really works. I've used that for myself in the past with good effects. Diarrhea, obviously if it's prolonged or in young babies or children or elderly people, we've got to get medical advice. But you can make a tummy rub with your 10 mils of carrier oil and a drop each of lavender and chamomile, and rub in a clockwise direction 4 times a day, and that can be really beneficial, helpful. So earache, something I've used it a lot for with my eldest son. How do you think we might apply the oils, and what oils do you think we might apply?
Tea tree and lavender.
Tea tree and lavender would be good, yeah.
Would you rub it along the back of the ear and down the neck?
Yeah, so where the glands go, so not in the ear. You can put it all over the pinna though, all of the actual ear. You could add chamomile to that as well. and across the cheekbones as well, because your eustachian tube comes right down, so it connects the back of your throat. So you can pop it on your cheekbones as well, and again, you know, a few times a day, 3 times a day. Headaches. So we need to find the cause of the headache, don't we? And treat it accordingly. So it could be, you know, because of a cold and flu, or neck tension, or hormonal. So we'd use the oils according to what your problem is. Essential oils are really useful for travelling. So if anybody suffers travel sickness, which my youngest one did, it's disgusting. Peppermint oil, just put it on the t-shirt or even on the strap that's going over your seatbelt. That can really be effective. Or I put it, and it keeps the driver alert as well. Put it on a cotton ball in, you know, where the fan comes out. Those little fins at the front where your fan comes out. Put it in there, and that can really help. Or from a tissue stuffed in your top pocket, keep the aroma gently rising. As well as drinking peppermint tea or sucking peppermints as well.
I'll let you know if I do.
I'm a bad traveller as well, if I'm not driving. Sunburn, you've got to take all the precautions to avoid it, but you could use a nice after sun. So you can put 2 drops each of lavender, chamomile and peppermint into chamomile lotion, if you don't mind being pink, and apply every hour. That would be nice. Or just your chamomile, your carrier oil would be good. And cool baths in which you've added your 10 mils of full fat milk, which may have come out of the freezer, Elaine, and 5 drops each of lavender and chamomile. That would be a nice cooling bath, sir. Swollen ankles, especially when you're travelling. So you could mix together 2 drops each of lavender and eucalyptus in 10 mils of carrier oil. And when your legs are feeling heavy, it's good as well if you've got restless leg syndrome. And I'm just doing a yoga session on that as well. Just a gentle upward massage from your ankles towards your knee, where the fluid drains into the back of your knee. That can be really helpful. And that would help as well with varicose veins. Just be very careful. If you get cramp, add in a drop of peppermint to that mix as well. Can be really helpful.
Add a drop of
Peppermint.
Oh, right.
Yeah. And if you're on a plane or the car and you haven't got enough room and your knees get sore, that rubbing into the knees would really help. So one for the girls with the children, irritable, fidgety children. A gentle foot massage using chamomile can be really helpful if they'll let you. And it helps them to sleep as well. Just 1 drop of chamomile in 1 drop of chamomile in your carrier oil. So bugs as well, the essential oils that we've got are really good for insect repellent. So lavender, tea tree. If you're travelling and you can't take your own stuff, you don't know slept in the bed, sprinkle it on your mattress or get a spray and spray it on your mattress. Keep the bugs away. And you can apply lavender, tea tree and eucalyptus to your carrier oil and rub them on your skin as an insect repellent. But personally, I think covering up for protection is the way to go. And if you do
if it was an insect bite, would it be something like lavender, tea tree and chamomile?
I was just coming on to that. Yes, so lavender and chamomile be good, and tea tree if you think it's getting infected. Yeah. So I've put together for kind of, you know, quick fixes with your essential oils. Are we all okay with those? Yeah. So again, go and play around with them, experiment with the oils, enjoy them, use it the way that you applied it, and then we can share that next week. We've only got 2 oils left to go, haven't we? We've only got 2 oils left to cover. And I thought next week we'd move on to benefits of touch, because of essential oils and aromatherapy go hand in hand so much with massage. And then if there's time, we'll do a massage technique. If there isn't, we can extend it and go another week with that. So I don't want to rush us and, you know, say we'll finish on a particular date. I want us to just go with the flow, if that's okay.
Yeah.
Lovely.
Leslie, can I
Yeah.
have one question?
Yeah.
Of the oils we used, would you recommend any of them for scar tissue?
There's no guarantee. There is that oil, isn't there? What do they call bio oil? That a nurse I worked with, she said she found it really did help with a burn scar. I would say geranium would be really good because of its regenerative properties, but obviously diluted properly as well. And it wouldn't do you any harm as long as it's not somebody with cancer. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Leslie, another question. I went back to the website that we got the starter pack from.
Oh yeah.
To get some of the white lotion.
Oh yeah.
You know, the organic lotion.
Yeah.
And it's out of stock. And I wondered whether that's because of our current situation, or is that something that...
No, it's the current situation. There were for absolutely loads because a lot of the aromatherapists, because we can't work, they're making blends to give out to people. Yeah. So and I think they're having a problem with the supply chains as well. So you could try White Rose and see if they've got any.
Yeah, I know when we were at the tree on one of the retreats there, and we you did a little bit of this and you mixed it, and I thought that lotion was just lovely, and I thought if that's the one you use, I'd actually prefer to have that because I know I really like it.
It is nice, and it absorbs. It doesn't leave you sticky, and it's got nothing bad in it. It's nice. Yeah.
I'll keep watching and hope that once we get further back to normality, it should appear again.
It's not normally a problem. It's a supply chain problem and the way that the therapists are having to work at the moment. There's loads of actually closing down.
Oh dear.
Even with I've just been going through all the stuff we'll have to do, but you're going to be working twice as hard for half the amount of people coming in. Same with the yoga. So I don't know what we're going to do really. Just watch your space and trust.
Good job you've got the hang of the technology.
I know, although I can't see you now. I don't know what I've done there. I can't see you, but never mind. Okay, so I've enjoyed today, girls, with your input and what you've been doing.
Brilliant as well, thank you.
Yeah. So I'll share all the information then, and stick with the 8 hours that you've got for now. It's plenty in there. We'll cover the next 2 hours next time, and we'll move towards touch.
Brilliant.
All right, thank you so much, Olga. Thank you. Have a good day, Olga. Stay dry. Bye. Bye.